Hi, my name is Katarina Šonjić.
My name is Dragana Radošević.
I'm Julia Merkureva.
My name is Ana Mijatović.
Hello, I'm Sandra Vitas.
You may know me as Cat on Coffee. I'm employer branding strategist and I help people develop employer branding processes. I'm a founder of Ample and co-founder of Employer Brand Sprint.
I've been in Luxoft since 2022. At the beginning of my career, I worked as a recruiter, eventually leading teams of more than 30 people. Today, I have over 15 years of professional HR experience.
I have over 5 years of experience in the dynamic world of IT. I'm certified Scrum Master and Agile enthusiast, skilled in customer service and leadership.
I have broad experience in civil society and the non-profit sector, as a project coordinator, trainer, educator and facilitator, with 16 years of experience in public relations and media.
I deliver expert resources for conducting training and creating course materials. I oversee a team of 20 IT experts and around 200 freelance IT trainers. With 12 years of experience in managing education departments, I bridge the gap between education and IT. Today, I will be talking about the most important skills in IT. How to develop tech skills from scratch. I will be talking about balancing different roles in your life as a woman.
I'll be talking about increasing the number of girls in STEM, how women can contribute to IT and bringing balance to your career and development.
I'll share my experience in moving your career forward and how your connections and your community can impact your professional growth.
I'll be sharing my HR experiences, what I look for in talents, and how you can gain attention on the market.
I'm Katarina and I'll be your host. I would ask Dragana to share some local and global numbers so we can actually explore this topic from a different angle. So Dragana, what are global and local numbers? Some percentage of women in IT in general, and if there are some stats in salaries, if you can share that with us just for the start.
I will start with a thing that in Serbia, in IT, ICT sector, there is around 23% of women, and comparing to EU, it is a bigger percentage. Their average is around 17-18%. It's not good because until 2030, 60% of jobs will be from tech field. So women need to catch up, and we need to have more women in this field. Why it's not good? Maybe because even in current situation, when it comes to pay gap, it's big. Not only in IT sector, but it is big. It's bigger in Serbia than on average in EU. Here is 14.4%, and in EU on average it's around 13%. So also we can see it's not a big difference. For example, in US it is 20%, and it's for last 5 years it's so. So we are not that bad practice example, but it's visible that pay gap in Serbia increasing. What is also a discrepancy, that we have more women that graduate in global, but less of them are employed. When it comes to IT sector in Serbia, only 50% of women has more than 2,000 euros per month. So when we are talking about pay gap, that's one more thing. And if we continue with this dynamic, we will need 275 years on global to close it. So we need to work faster, and that's why I will just return at the beginning. That is why this subject is always important.
Thank you for sharing that. And I just have one a short follow-up question. Do you maybe have some data about where women contribute the most? So if they have some bigger percentage in some IT roles or maybe a bit lower, which ones are the most interesting ones for women? Yeah.
Women are the most interested, or they're applying the most in information services.
Okay.
But this is slowly changing. So now women are approaching mainly, I will say, man field, programming, management, etc. But for now, women are mostly oriented to web hosting, etc.
Great, great. Thank you for that. Now I would ask Anna to share what is going on in contact with talents. You are speaking with talents all the time. If you can share what are their expectations and what is the percentage of women that apply to IT jobs.
Yeah, thank you. So looking at the market in general, I would just like to say we are more approaching candidates than they are applying. Yes, they do apply, and the good candidate can come and apply on job adverts, but we are not relying on this because even with current economic challenges, still, and IT especially is talent-oriented market. So speaking regardless the gender, what they look for is like for us to be transparent, to know as soon as possible what's in it for them. And they don't like very long recruitment process. When it comes to this ratio, men and women, I checked our statistics preparing for this panel. And when we talk about candidates reach out on LinkedIn, which is our main sourcing tool, we reach towards 25 to 35% of women candidates, female candidates, versus 65 to 75 of male candidates. And this is basically the market. So we don't have any preferences, it's just a labor pool. I also checked some statistics of our internal employees just to better understand this proportion, and the statistic is very similar, and I was like, okay, we are good here. But when you deep dive into actual specializations and where they work, we have more women in support function, admin, HR and so on, than purely technical roles, which are programming and so on. This percentage goes from 12 to 30% depending on the department, on the project. So it means, yes, we as well have some space to improve. And also we checked together with colleagues from HR in the last year, people who left the company. Among them, among the number of women who left, 56% left because of personal reasons versus 44% of men who left due to the same reason. And by personal, it's usually like family reunion if they moved due to a job or simply to have more time with family. So it's not that men don't go because of this reason. Family is important for them as well. But obviously it's more visible for women.
Great. Thank you for sharing that one with us. I would also like to ask Sandra, you are working as a project manager. So what's your case? What's the percentage of ladies in your career path, how that looked like, and do you feel some imbalance when we speak about project management roles?
Well, when I look back, like when I started my career, probably like 10 years ago, there was definitely a balance. I can remember that all the kind of people who were in charge or responsible, supervisors, managers, directors, were mostly men. These days, and especially like maybe since 5 years, like previous 5 years, and now I don't feel that's the case. However, I think it's opposite basically, as I know many great female kind of project managers, program managers, directors even, and I have really great colleagues, so I really think that's no longer the case, especially here in Luxoft. I'm really, as you can see, surrounded by females and by women, and I think that's great, and I hope the momentum will kind of continue.
Yeah, so when you started answering the question, I was like, really? And then when you said a lot of ladies in project management, it so makes sense because, it's so natural to our actually nature and working with people being more extroverts.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you. And Julia, I would also like to hear your perspective right now. Who are the most engaged educators in IT world? And what are the most important skills to develop in order to be successful in IT role?
I wouldn't say that somebody is more engaged than others, because in IT world it's never ending process. So you need to be always like upskilled, and the technologies are changing very fast, and with something new is being implemented so often. So you need to be in tune with the trends in your sphere of IT. And regarding the most important skills, as I mentioned, technical skills have to be improved consistently. The second important aspect here is communication skills. We work in teams, we need to communicate with peers and leaders. And if we are dealing with international team, we need to be aware of cross-cultural communication. In Luxoft, I guess all our team is international, so understanding the differences between cross-culture between cultures help us to understand that people can misunderstand us simply because of these differences. And if you are combining your IT role with leadership position, you need to improve your management skills, like motivation people, providing, like, I don't know, setting goals and tasks and so on. So.
Great, thanks a lot. Okay, and I would also like to ask Dragana, why do we lack girls in STEM in general? What are your insights right now? And how would you approach solving this challenge if you experienced some activities right now through your organization, and what works well actually?
The main reason why do we lack girls in STEM is lacking of role models, and that's one of the main reasons. But we also have mainstream or stereotypes. For decades, technical science, computers, IT, etc. is advertised like a male or a boys thing. And it's not true, because in the 70s it was completely different. So that's one more reason, very important. So we need to change narrative for first. And through our organization we have different important initiatives in relation to more women in technologies. It's one of our main goals of operating. And we start with young girls already from primary school through More Girls in STEM initiative. And what are we doing through that is to connect them with role models, with successful women from technological field, IT field, through different activities, either road shows where we are visiting schools in Serbia with women from technology, IT sector, who share their stories, their obstacles, their confusion maybe at the beginning. And we have hackathons, for example, educational hackathons, where through mentorship and peer education, because we are combining teams from high school girls, students, and they have at least one mentor in that team. They are preparing different tasks. When we are speaking about other categories of women, older ones, let's to say like that, we have Women in Cyber chapter, where we also have a mentorship program. So it is important to share honest real-life stories with girls, to understand that if you don't know mathematics so well, maybe you know physics or something, and when there is a lot of jobs in IT field that you can do if you're not expert in math, for example. And it is important to hear from someone who already passed that road. And then we have a lot of interesting questions, concrete questions. I was thinking to go to this and that university, this and that subject, so should I do that? So we need to talk, we need to make connections, for life connections, because we have girls who met their mentors at our activities, and they are still in contact.
No matter what they did after,
no matter what they did, but they're in contact through their studies. They're in contact when they need to continue to find first job, so they always have someone to lean on. And that is very important.
Great. At the beginning you mentioned that there is a lot of girls that are finishing studies, but not a lot of them are employed in IT. Do you maybe have some data to share with us regarding to bachelor and master programs? Like, is there any differences there too?
Generally, women are more successful when they are enroll in some university. They will mostly finish it. So when it comes to IT, let's talk about that. In Serbia, women are always on third when it comes to technical faculties. It is bigger number now than before, but it's always around 30%. I mean, always, when I say always, for last 5 years, for example, before it was a bit less. And when it comes to finishing bachelor part of studies, they are more successful. 37% of women, when you compare with a lower number, are graduates. It's a bit different when it comes to enrolling in master studies. It's 43% of women are enrolled there. But when we come to doctoral studies, the number declines. So we can, as Anna mentioned, we can relate that with marital status, family. We will talk about that later, that women are mostly engaged in those non-paid jobs. We can see it as well in those levels of studies.
Especially for the higher ones. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. I can also right now I can actually imagine what is going on the market. So when entering IT industry, I'm guessing we all face a lot of challenges. So Julia, I wanted to ask you, what were your challenges and how that looked like?
Oh, okay. In Luxoft, I'm responsible for expert resource service, and in my team, I have 20 IT experts and over than 200 freelance trainers. So these people are very experienced in IT. So and when I just started to work here, I saw like some doubts in their eyes, in my subordinates, eyes, and it looks like you didn't have like so great experience in IT as they did, and I didn't have like I didn't know as much as they did, and it seems like how you can manage us without like IT experience. So my approach is always speaking with people, asking questions, and what is their concerns and issues, and this approach helped me this time as well. And we openly talked with everybody from my team, and I appreciate and respected their knowledge, experience, and contribution. And also I mentioned that I have good management experience, and I set up and managed my own company for 5 years, and also I worked in big oil company, and I built a education department from scratch there. So and here we have absolutely different roles. I don't need to be an expert here. So they saw that even though I don't have like experience in IT, I can bring value using my previous background, and I'm here to apply their great skills to the business needs. And I listen to my subordinates, and they usually share their ideas, their issues, their concerns. We discuss it very open every time. Also, I try to evaluate all their ideas, and I can clarify why this idea cannot be implemented or have to be implemented in our company. And we promote their idea together. We discuss everything together, and we try to overcome everything together. So my approach is to be as open and honest as I can be in this role. And when people see our like final goal, and they see that we are ready to work with them to overcome all challenges together, they will be more motivated, more active, more interested in it.
At the end of the day, it's always about this human touch and communication. Great, thank you for sharing this with us. So I would switch to Anna right now. We have a question for you. What are important aspects of career development, and are there any specific factors when speaking with IT talent? So what happens when you speak with them about their career?
Okay, so basically my answer will be connected to what Dragan already highlighted, and also Julia is the proper person to talk about career development. But what I can say from my side, I recently read an interesting LinkedIn analytics that says 80% of jobs published on this platform in 2023 globally did not exist 20 years back. And like some list of hot skills, top skill for this year is adaptability. So this really goes hand in hand with career development, and especially in IT, where technology like rapidly develops, and with AI, which is hot topic right now on all levels. What I can say in Luxoft, this is really taken very seriously. Yulia can say more, but what I would like to add, in addition to what already exists, like upskilling, coaching, mentoring, and all this, is that we have an internal mobility hub, which is basically internal system that helps current employees to find their new opportunity within Luxoft, and not just in the country where they work, but also globally. And this really functions extremely well. So this is something that I believe not all companies have, which is something great to highlight about our system. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. My follow-up question was about how do you support it as an HR? So I'm guessing you are handling the whole process. Can you maybe share what's the role of HR in this one?
Actually, my job is related to hiring candidates from external market, but for sure I can share. So all new roles that are open in Luxoft are firstly open for internal candidates. So this means internal employees have first priority. Anyone can apply if they're interested to change, whether the project is ending or they're simply ready for their new career step. They can apply and be internal candidate for a new opportunity. So this is how it functions. We have a team that is working with this pool of candidates, internal candidates, and their first priority when something new opens up. If it turns out we don't have, for some roles it happens, we don't have internal candidates, then my team takes over and we search on external market. But priority is internal people, and to give them a chance to develop, to take on new roles and be promoted.
Thank you, Anna. So Sandra, when we met, when we were speaking about your career, you mentioned that connection with the community was very important to you. So I would ask you to share your experience. So what was going on and how this community connection actually helped you grow in your career.
Yeah, okay. Well, so I will take it as an example. So when I started in Luxoft, my first position was like a Scrum Master. But then thankfully, due to the project management community, and as Anna was saying, in Luxoft we have like those internal kind of chapters and communities. So for instance, if you are a business analyst, you would have your business analyst community. Or if you're a Java programmer, you will have special community for people with the same experience and same expertise. And then what's interesting about the project management community, as it was definitely one of the reasons that helped me kind of progress in my career here in Luxoft, as now I'm in the role of a project manager. It's really, really active. Like we have a lot of workshops, a lot of meetings scheduled, a lot of opportunities for external certifications and trainings. And we also have like those small talks kind of every 2 weeks where you can easily just join and share, discuss if you have some problems or some difficulties. And maybe people with more experience and more knowledge can like share their insights. It's really like a safe zone for everybody, and that brings like a lot of kind of calmness to me, and I feel more confident in myself when I'm surrounded by people like that. And also like having in the same time in parallel like your social media, like especially LinkedIn. It's really, really important to follow some pages, to follow organizations who, for instance, for your interest. Like in my case, that would be in the project management area. So for instance, like PMI, Project Management Institute, they share such useful content on a daily basis. And even here in Serbia as well, there are a lot of organizations for like agile methodologies that they're promoting, also the trainings, meetups, as Anna was saying. So you can like meet some people with same experience, get to know them, kind of share you as a brand, and also gather more connections. So it helps you also grow. So for me, that was kind of both in parallel, like here in Luxoft, the communities, and at the same time also kind of social media, kind of following the trends, investigating, reading on my own, like what's new, what can I take next? So
Great.
that's basically
Yeah, I would agree that I feel like right now in our local communities there is like a golden time of IT communities. So each week you have an open meetup where you can go, ask, connect. So I would say that for everyone, or if we have someone in the audience right now that is thinking about switching to IT, I think this would be a good way to go.
Time, yes.
Yeah, and especially if you have some colleagues internally that are willing to share their experience.
Exactly. Everybody's super helpful. Like you just need to ask, kind of step out a little bit of your comfort zone, and you'll see how people are really the same. We're all feeling the same, and we're here to support each other. So
yeah, at the end of the day, we all have the same goal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right now, I have another question for Sandra. If you can share who inspires you in IT role.
Well, if I had to choose one person, maybe I think that would be like Steve Jobs. The reason is because when I was in high school, that was I think the greatest time of like revolutionary things kind of happening in the technology world, with like phones having big screens, like displays, no buttons, and like in my career, I always kind of read or check some documentary about someone and their biography. And for him, it's especially interesting, like, and I really encourage everybody kind of to divide maybe like 1 hour and look at his biography is how he started, like how we all started literally from the garage where he and his friends were kind of getting together and developing something. And how he progressed through his career. He was even fired from his own company, the company that he co-founded. So it's really like, it's showing a lot of ups and downs that every human being can experience in their lifetime. And what is important, I think, is his kind of vision, and really like he was exceptional visionary leader, so to say, definitely ahead of the time. And I think that everybody should kind of just try to implement that in their own life, in their own work, not of course to mimic somebody else, but just kind of to see, for example, if you're experiencing some I don't know, difficulties, or you had bad experience, and like, oof, why I needed that, why this happened to me. Like literally, maybe a few years after that, you'll see, oh, that was exactly what I needed, because it made me think from another perspective. It made me pursue something else. Maybe you weren't, like, if you stayed in that position, like let's say you were fired from somewhere or something, you wouldn't be content staying there. So I think that everything happens for a reason, and like his example is always kind of good reminder for me, kind of to pursue like my interests, my goals, and to have clear focus like on what I want.
Lovely. I can see this being at some point a TED Talk from yourself, you know?
Well, maybe,
Why not? Because it's so inspiring, and at the end of the day, we are all humans, so
exactly.
yeah, and being thankful for each opportunity we have. Thank you for that. Okay, so I would also like to include Dragana to our discussion right now. We were speaking about a lot of roles women carry in their lives. I would like to hear what are the factors that are bringing balance and imbalance to women in IT, and if there are some practices that can actually help them be more focused on job and actually have more balance in their own lives.
Yeah, I will just start with something, because we are only talking about women. Of course, women in tech. But what is important? It is important to have more women in tech, but only to have balanced teams and mixed teams, because those teams are the most successful one. So not to be confused, we don't need only women in teams. We need mixed teams, and we need more women in them. Why is that? Because we are multitaskers by nature. And we can bring different perspectives to some ideas, to some projects, etc. And interesting, even though women are working 75% of non-paid jobs, taking care of children, domestic things, etc., not only job. In Serbia in 2022, 55% of people who entered in requalification, education, are women. So even though we have different things to do besides on the career, we are again ready to develop, to progress, to change something in our lives. And it is important to have some kind of hobby, and it sounds like, okay, we're already cooking, cleaning, working, and where is a place for a hobby? Not every day, not every month, every year, but sometimes you can do something for you which is completely outside of house or your workplace. For example, for me, it was not only hobby, it was practically my first career. It was sports. And it learned me discipline. is the most important thing for me, I think, because when we are working, I'm a bit lazy for domestic jobs, but when I'm at work, we need to work, finish, and then we can rest. So that, and one other important thing, I learned hierarchy. So you're not always right. It's not your that is last always, and it also creates critical thinking, but also team spirit. So you know how to work in team, even though in my sport was individual. In any sport, either it's a game or it's individual sports, you learn those things. So my advice, for example, for women who are now working, didn't have opportunity to for example, enter sports. Tomorrow, for their children, organize something. It doesn't have to be sports. It has to be something besides school, either languages or music, because this will learn you to go through life easier if you encounter some obstacle. And hobby, such as sport, is always good recreation. I don't do it as any top athlete. We are sick of sports for some time, but for example, I learned some new languages besides I knew from high school.
Yeah, great.
So you need to find some kind of balance. What is something that set back women is less time for networking.
Thank you also for sharing this personal story. You mentioned the networking part. That's why we actually have LinkedIn and this online space for that too. But I would say that we have more and more opportunities for women to meet each other and to connect, especially through AFA. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Julia, you're a mom. Yes, that's a huge role, and I would love to ask you, how do you balance your different roles, and can you maybe share some advice for current or future moms?
To be honest, my point of view that women have to be independent, and we work a lot, and we may have family and children, and we need to find time for ourselves. And sometimes it is quite difficult to find the balance. And when I have free time, instead of lying on a couch, I prefer to do sport. During work, my brain is busy, but my body isn't. And sport helped me to feel my brain like relax, but to give my muscles some exercise. So sometimes I can gain some insights during swimming, cycling, or running, because it is great time to be alone and to think about something. But you also can combine it, and you also can do it with sport community, and it is great chance to find new friends. And I usually combine training alone and training with community. You may say that it is quite difficult or even impossible to find time when you have children, and of course if you just had a baby, all your time will spend taking care of the child. But the older children get, the more time for yourself you have. And when my children were small, I started exercising at home, and the older children get, the more different sports I tried. And now I'm in love with triathlon. And last year I completed quite long distance. It was half Ironman, 1.9 kilometers swimming, 90 kilometers cycling, and 21 kilometers running. And 2 years before, I completed also long distance. It was swimming, 181 kilometers. But I wasn't alone. I did it with 5 girls, and it took 5 days for us, but it was the best vacation in my life, to be honest, really. So I also completed a couple of major marathons. It's 42 kilometers. And to complete such long distance, of course, you need to spend a lot of time preparing. So I used to work from office and lived outside the city. So I could spend even 2 hours in traffic jams. So I decided to spend this time with useful. And in the morning, I listen to learning podcast or audiobooks, And in the evening, instead of staying in the traffics, I took all my sports stuff with me and did swimming, running, or cycling near the office. Then I would come back. So this time there was no traffic anymore, and I arrived at home just a little bit later, but with my training done. So now it is much easier to do, because now I'm working from home, and I can go with my children in the morning to school, and I can run when I come back. And I have swimming trainings at 6 a.m. Twice in a week. It could be difficult to start to wake up at 6 a.m., but you will get used to it very soon. You just need to start doing it. And what is more important things here is you can be very good example for your children, because they see you can combine all these things. You can do sport in the morning, you can hard work during the day, and you will have free time in the evening and weekends, and you can spend it with friends or family. So I believe that we need to provide opportunity for our children to be independent and to see that you can do everything really and you can achieve everything. You just need to understand that you can get everything from your life.
Thank you, Julia. I feel so motivated. Like tomorrow morning, let's have a chat. Who's up, who's running, and who's sleeping, and see what's going on. And thank you for mentioning this role model part, because at the beginning of this panel discussion, we mentioned that girls and actually young ladies are liking role models. So tomorrow you can be a role model for your children too. Thank you for that. So I have some questions from the audience I would like to add right now, and whoever wants to answer, you can just jump in. So from Maria Savic, hi everybody. Seems like it's a good moment for girls to join the tech work market, as many companies are trying to force gender balance. But at the same time, it's a vicious circle, so hard for anybody to get into this work market. Maybe, Anna, can you maybe share some thoughts about how to enter the market and what do you like to see in their CVs?
Yeah, well, it depends. It's really different if someone is at the beginning of their career or if someone is in the later stages of their career. So it then depends on this. What recruiters look for, yes, is skills and like your previous experience. But this is more relevant for candidates who are like with already some previous experience in this field. When you are at the early stage, it's just best to be very active, not just to be at school. To finish university. Yes, grades are important, but also other projects, other internships, and to be very vocal, to be very active, to be engaged in different communities. As we hear now, it's there's more opportunities for it than before. And yes, when you apply for a job, it's of course important to have up-to-date, very clear, informative CV and LinkedIn profile. You can work a bit on your personal brand, but don't be too creative, It's more like to network and to be included in some other projects, not just like your studies, your education.
Great.
And be persistent, because it can be really difficult at the beginning when there's a massive number of candidates and you have to stand out from the crowd. So you should be quite active.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of people are applying for the same job as you do.
Exactly.
Yeah, Maria, I hope we gave you some perspective. Another question: which fields in IT are the most popular among women? So we know about project management. Do we maybe have some data around other roles?
Yeah, I will not say them all, not to make mistake, but I will say that UNDP did research recently, so search it and you will find a lot of information. Web hosting, etc. is the most popular right now, but women are shifting to some other professions, such as programming, management of IT projects, etc.
Nice, great. Thank you for that, and I will check out the research. Okay, do you have any entry-level open positions?
Not right now. Not right now. We are like outsourcing company, and really unfortunately for young people, but majority of our roles are from like middle, regular level and up. But we had last year one internship program, and I hope we will have more in the future. So it's always good to check out our career page. But at this very moment, unfortunately, we don't have entry-level roles.
Okay, thank you. So we have a question from Tamara. Do you think it's possible to break into product/project management without any university degree? Are certificates worth it? Although I have finished 3 years of faculty, I didn't graduate. So maybe if you have some advice on what you can do to actually enter the IT industry.
Well, certificates, I think, always only the plus. And in many cases, they're, I think, even more appreciated than the actual kind of degree. I mean, of course, the degree is really important. It's kind of proof of your knowledge. But especially certificates, as there are plenty of them, and a lot of organizations are really like doing hard work kind of to put like a lot of effort to those certifications. So it's not simply just you understand how the IT works or like how development goes, but it's covering different aspects, and then it depends on your interest. Like I would advise to find something that's what you're interested, what you're passionate about, and then like use Google as your friend kind of to kind of deep dive and see what there is, and then apply it, do the training or do it like self-learn by Udemy, as Udemy is full with like lots of useful classes. So I think it's only can be a boost. It's never enough, and I personally like whenever there is a chance to apply to something, I like to expand it. So
Great, thanks for that. Do you think it is possible to create a significant career while working remotely? Interesting question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yes, I would agree. 100%. Like I've been working for the past 3 years, I think, only remotely, and for me that's been like dream come true, literally.
Yeah.
Of course, I like going to the office when we all kind of agree to some time and spend work kind of together. But for me, at least, most of the time, I have colleagues from all over the world. So it's not like I have colleagues literally who are like sitting like we are now. So then what's the point of me sitting like in a corner when I have people from Germany, Romania, only on the screen? So that's why I appreciate the remote option, like staying home, but still I don't think it's any kind of blocker for your career development. Not really.
It goes with the personal discipline as well.
Oh, okay.
For me, for example, 2 days at home is more than enough, because I like to sleep, so I will work all day then. That's why for me remote job is not an option. Only remote. Hybrid is fine.
Okay.
So you need to look at your inner self and see if you are character enough to work only from home and build career.
Great. It's like an ideal solution.
Yeah, it's important to know yourself. So if you want remote career, then you have to be very disciplined.
Yeah, agreed totally. Okay, so let's wrap this up. We have a few more questions for all of our panelists. Just to add with some advice from them. Julia, I would love to ask you how to develop tech skills when starting from the scratch. What would be your advice?
Regarding getting new skills from the scratch, now in the current world we have a lot of opportunity to learn. So we have short-term programs, long-term programs, online trainings, offline trainings, flip learning, self-learning courses, mentoring, and also books. So you just need to choose the best option for you. And if we are speaking about junior position, so we need to understand it is highly competitive market, and to receive an offer, you not need only learn a lot, but you need to stand out among other candidates and be active, be motivated, and you will get a position. I have really good story here. So I have a friend, and he spent over a year to become a back-end developer. It took him more than 6 months of interviewing for junior positions, but they weren't successful. He continued to work on his learning projects, on interviewing, and one day he decided to apply for mid-level position. And I was surprised, but he received the offer, and he has been working in this role for 3 months now, and his manager is satisfied. That's important. Yes, it is challenging for him, but he can do it. So, and regarding the skills from scratch, I guess the most important thing that you need to be very motivated, very active, and to be interested in the position. And it will help you.
Great, thank you, Julia. It totally makes sense, but yeah, I hope we inspired some people from the audience to do that too. Okay, Sandra, what to do in order to move your career forward, except from being active in the community, obviously?
Well, yeah, as Julia was saying, it's really, really important to be motivated and to find what you're interested about. I think that's the number one thing. And not having self-doubt, like literally stop, like all the worries, kind of, if you're scared of something, still try, go ahead, take that opportunity, as you don't want to be like, 1 year after you say to yourself, well, why I did miss that, I could have tried it, as there are many people who are maybe even like have less knowledge or less competency, and they are like rocking. You can see on their LinkedIn, they're just getting promotion. So I think it's really, really important that you kind of know what you like and to pursue it, not to give up. Like, of course, it won't happen maybe in the first few months if you're, let's say, changing your career, or if you're starting something different, something else, but you're still feeling like passionate about it. I think it's just you need to kind of pursue it. I myself remember, like, when I wanted kind of to switch from the, let's say, like, traditional waterfall kind of methodology in leading the projects, I was really skeptical at the time. I was like, there are many people who already know what they're doing. The IT jobs, like, they're all over the place. Who am I kind of to enter in this world? Like, I don't have that knowledge. But then little by little, like, once I kept learning and kind of continue that, I saw like, okay, I understand that, I know this. Why do I think that others are better than me? When the reality is actually different. And you see that, like, you get yourself promotion, you're supported by your colleagues. So when you see yourself grow, I think that's the best feeling, and then you can only be proud and happy that you kind of take the risks when it was needed. So,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Thanks a lot. Anna, you mentioned standing out from the crowd. Can you maybe say, if you remember some example from, I don't know, last 1 month or 2 months that you saw in the application, it standed out from the other applicants? Maybe some example of what to do to get your attention?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say, but finding different ways to approach and to show your motivation. I think the most difficult step is to break through, to be invited. I think this is most difficult for young people because they all have similar CVs, they all send, but make it most relevant for the job that you're applying, like tailor it for what you apply. And then when you get the interview, I've seen it many times, it's not just one example. For experienced people, it's different, but for juniors, hiring managers will look for attitude and motivation. Like, if a young person comes and immediately asks, what is your working hour? It doesn't mean that we are overworking people, but just they want to see someone asking about the project, about the career perspective, about the team, about the company, knowing already something about the company that they're applying to. This is what will get you noticed, that you really want this job.
Yeah, at the beginning of the career, you don't have experience, but you have this attitude.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Anna. And Dragana, for the end, can you give us some global market perspective? Are there some future professions or something we can expect on the global level in the IT market?
I want to speak about professions, because probably while we are speaking, some 2 or 3 at least, 20, 30 new professions will appear. It's that fast-changing field, especially with AI now. But I will say that there is lack of women on management positions and directorial positions. So yeah, seek your opportunity there, because I'm sure you can, because colleagues from panel mentioned it repeatedly. Because also on senior position there is not much women, only 2%. only in Serbia every year there is need for 7,000 jobs in the ICT field. And universities can provide only 4,000 educated students. So I think it's a lot to think of, and a lot of space for any kind of development or job.
Yeah, that also connects to this question regarding the degree. That's at the end of the day not the most important part.
It is not most important. I agree that you need to learn all your life. I am example, or all girls here are example for that. But yes, Sandra mentioned, it is okay to have some kind of degree, because it's not only, it shows your discipline.
Great. Thank you for this wonderful wrap up. Thank you all for joining us, for being here with us. And yeah, see you again at some online or in-person event. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.